What are you doing? What are you doing? You're all up in my lap. I missed you. Yeah, I did. I know you missed me too. And it's been like a week now. And I know that we'll make up for the month that I was gone. No, it won't. No, it won't. No, it won't. I'm never leaving you again. No, I'm gonna have to leave you at some point when I go to the Air Force. But that aside, I'm never leaving you again. I'm never leaving you again. Alright, off my lap. Thank you. Morning, sunshines. It's been a long while since I've did a video. So to kind of update from the last one, I was a week into working at Amazon, I think. I worked at Amazon for another week. Then my friend Gordon came up from Fayetteville, North Carolina. I've talked about him a few times in other vlogs. And was again trying to convince me to move down to Fayetteville, of course. Which I was supposed to do in mid-August, but that kind of fell through. And then I ended up getting a job offer down there that I accepted. So I moved to Fayetteville 2 weeks after working at Amazon. I was in Fayetteville for a month. Kind of got dealt a really crappy hand soon after getting down there, and I just couldn't recover from it, essentially, so I had to come back home. I've been here for about a week. I got back on Tuesday last week, so yeah, I've been here a week, literally. I will be going back to Fayetteville. I actually really liked the area despite everyone telling me I wouldn't. Mm-hmm. And Gordon saying, you know, it was kind of a crappy place. Hi, puppy. And I didn't take Athena with me, though, so I didn't have her for a month. And when I got home, oh my god, I thought she was... Stop getting in my face! I thought she was gonna piss herself. Ow! Your ears hurt. Go over there. But yeah, I got home and I literally thought she was gonna piss herself. She was so excited. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on right now. I am kind of still searching for a job while I'm here, because I didn't come back with a job. I could go back to Amazon if I wanted to, but I really don't want to go back to Amazon. I put in for a position at Leggett & Platt, which is a mattress factory here in Georgetown, which is not very far away. I have a job assessments test for that tomorrow morning. I also got a gig riding horses for a lady. It's not going to be a full-time thing, at least not in the beginning, but she needs help with one of her 3-year-olds. Essentially, he's trying to buck when they trot, and he's bucking to try and get her off. She's like 52 years old. She's like, I can't handle falls like that. I need someone young who can bounce back pretty easy, or who can stick it, basically. And my last horse was a handful, so I told her I'd give it a shot. She's gonna pay me to ride her horse for her, and there's the potential for more work. But either way, it's working with horses, and I don't care what I'm doing. And yeah, so there's that. That's kind of what's going on in my life right now. While I was in Fayetteville, like, for the fact that I only knew one person while I was there, I went and got an online dating profile. Actually, I used Tinder and Plenty of Fish. But, so I met people that way and made friends that way, and because I didn't use it for dating, because I was like, I am down here, I literally don't know anybody, I'm not going to get into a relationship, I don't want to date somebody right now, I have plans to go into the reserves, I don't know when I'm leaving for basic, I don't know when I'm leaving for tech school, I know I'll be back, but I don't want to ask someone to to wait for me and all this other stuff. And so my intention was to not end up dating anybody, just to make friends. And if something came of it later down the road, then something came of it later, but I just wanted friends. And I tend to get along better with guys, though I did meet a few women. But either way, I did meet one guy, it's like the Saturday after I got there. His name is Daniel. We're dating. It was one of those, we'll just be friends first and see where it goes. Like, he was okay with being friends first. Had no issues with it. He's like, yeah, no, I would much rather do that, because he's 28, been divorced. So he's like, no, I don't want to get burned again. That's totally fine. We can just be friends. Well, look how that worked out. But he's great. He's a good guy. He's a really, really, really good guy. First time we went on a date, we met at Starbucks, and talked for like 6-7 hours. Just about nothing and everything in general. So it was really nice just to sit there and talk to someone he's very like-minded, which I greatly appreciate. Then he took me on a motorcycle ride for date 2, which it was a date because we went to see a movie as well. Oh my god, puppy. But he took me on a motorcycle ride, which is the first time I'd ever been on a motorcycle. It was a lot of fun. So much fun. I'm an adrenaline junkie, so it was totally awesome. And then we went and saw a movie. And then, day number 3, he came over to grill bratwursts at my house, and I didn't realize that the grill that we had was, like, on its last leg, literally. And, kind of totally screwed up the brats. Like, it was awful. They fell into the coals, they got burned, they were not edible. Like, only 4 of them came out remotely edible. But despite that, it was probably, will probably be the best date I've ever had, because it was perfect. I don't know how to explain it, it just was. Then the next day we went to the opening weekend of the Carolina Renaissance Fair. Oh my god. So excited for that. It's a pretty fair, very, very pretty grounds. I really liked it. It's smaller than New York, but bigger than Kentucky. A lot of them are. But it was really pretty. I judged the joust team a little harsher than I should have, probably. Only because I'm super biased. I am super loyal to Round Table, and no one compares, in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, the jest was good. It was entertaining. But there's just things I would have changed, obviously, that I won't mention here, because I'm not going to badmouth anybody. And then, yeah, I think the next weekend we went to, Medieval Times in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Again, kind of judged the joust, but you know what? They do it like daily, 4 or 5 days a week. My dog almost just fell. That was hilarious. But they do it like 4 or 5 times a week. And she turned the TV on. How awesome is that? But they do it 4 or 5 times a week, so I've got to be super, super careful on how they do it. The falls were awful. Safe, but awful. Like, I could clearly tell they weren't real. Their fighting was good, though. That was pretty seamless. The horses were gorgeous. Like, there was one horse that I was like, all right, Daniel, we're stealing this horse, and I'm putting it in the back seat of your... What does he have? A Veloster? Hyundai Veloster? I was like, all right, 3-door Veloster. It's like, all right, we're stealing this horse and I'm putting it in the back of your car. You think we got the room for this? This horse is like 16 hands in illusion. Gorgeous rose gray dapple rose gray. Oh my god, I was literally gonna hop whatever rows of seats were in front of me and steal the horse from the field. It was gorgeous. We also got to go to Myrtle Beach, like the actual beach, and he dug up shells for me, just in the sand, just playing in the sand. That was I call it the facade. He just wanted to play in the sand. But he's like, no, I'm getting you shells. It's like, yeah, okay, sure, you're getting me shells. But it was a lot of fun and very, very cool. And I was super sad to have to leave him. Super, super sad. We're still dating, doing the long distance thing, which if you watched the videos before this, I do think long distance can work. It just takes effort from both people. Lots and lots of effort. Communication is key. Talking as often as possible. Like, I haven't stopped texting him since I left. Actually, since I met him. We've been talking every day. We Skype when we can. I recently sent him a care package that was super cute. Like, I've never been this adorable before in my life, and it's making me sick. But whatever. Screw it. Which is how a lot of this relationship has been started. Like, it's been a whole bunch of, screw it, I'm gonna do it anyway. Screw it, I'm gonna do it anyway. But, so, no, it's going good. Really like the guy. Super sad I'm not down there. But it gives me a reason to go back more than just liking the area. He's stationed at Fort Bragg. He's infantry. So he's stationed at Bragg. He can't leave. His contract is up in a year and a half, so he's there for another 18 or so months. He's looking at reclassing and re-upping because he recently got injured, and after he recovers from the surgery of this injury, he probably won't be able to jump anymore. Or at least it's not smart of him to jump anymore. So he's looking at reclassing and re-upping. And possibly getting stationed in Germany. He's from Germany, like born in Germany. He's a bit of an army brat himself. So we'll see what happens with this relationship. Either way, I'm trying to get back down to Fayetteville. The Air Force stuff has been put on hold because I moved all of my documents from the Louisville MEPS to the Raleigh MEPS about a week before I had to come home. Maybe 2 weeks before I had to come home. And but I moved them from Louisville to Raleigh under the Army because, see, here in Lexington, the active duty Air Force and the Air Force Reserve Office are one and the same. They're not one and the same down in Fayetteville, and I didn't realize this. So I'm trying to get a hold of someone in the Air Force office, the active duty Air Force office, because that's where I think the reserves recruiters are. And there literally is no one in the Air Force office ever, because they don't bring in enough, like they don't have a high enough quota to be there every day, or whatever, is how the Army guy explained it to me. So I went into the Army Reserves Recruiting Office instead and started the process through them, and then found out that the Air Force Reserves is a totally separate office who is way easier to get a hold of than anybody in active duty. Essentially all I had to do was drive on to Pope Army Airfield and go into the office and be like, hey, I want to talk to somebody. Which I had a pass to get on Bragg anyway because Gordon's there and I was making friends on Bragg, so I got a visitor's pass that's good until December. So I was like, well, look, here, visitor's pass to get on Bragg, and then I just drive to the Army Airfield and find the office and open the door and be like, hey, I want to talk to somebody, which is what I did. So after I got my documents transferred from Louisville to Raleigh, I had to then transfer my documents from the Army to the Air Force. I don't know if that's gone through yet. Sergeant Q said he was still pushing it, like the day after I moved home. I told him what was going on, that I had to come home, that I was going to be back and I didn't know when. And he was like, okay, that's fine. Just let me know when you're back and we'll get this ball rolling again. So I essentially decided to leave my documents down in Raleigh instead of bringing them back to Louisville and starting the process here, because I don't know how moving works with in the reserves. Like, I understand that once you're stationed, you have to wait 6 months before you can move, essentially. Excuse me. But I don't quite know if I can move while I'm in DEP or the delayed entry program, because they still do have DEP for the reserves. I didn't know if they did, but they do. So essentially I would go to MEPS in Louisville, wait for the Surgeon General to get back to me. If he clears me, then I would go back up to MEPS in Louisville. I would swear in, talk to a liaison, pick jobs, whatever, swear in, go into DEP. I don't know if I'm allowed to move while I'm in DEP, or if I have to stay here. And that could take up to 6 months. Doesn't always, but it could. And so then I would go to basic, go to tech school, get out, and get my first, stop chewing on that, get my first, not duty station, because a duty station implies you're being based. I would get my first unit, which would either be Lexington or Louisville. I'm pretty sure it would depend on my job. Lexington or Louisville. And once I'm in that unit and I check into that unit, I can't check out of that unit and go somewhere else for 6 more months. So that's almost 2 years that I would have to be in Kentucky still, as opposed to taking about a year, 6 months to a year to get back to Fayetteville to start the process. So I'm just waiting. And going back to Fayetteville the right way, since I kind of rushed it last time, but I felt like I didn't have a choice. I'm doing it right this time, and it'll all be good. It'll all work out in the end. The distance sucks. Like, I've known for a majority of my life that I was probably going to end up with someone in the military or touring musician, because I'm the kind of person, like, I like my personal time. I love being with whoever I'm with, but I do like my personal time as well. And I can handle not talking to somebody for a couple weeks, not seeing them for months or a year or whatever. Like, I can handle that better than most people. So I always felt it was kind of not fair for me to take one of those people that's always around when some people can't handle it. So I've always kind of accepted the fact that, you know, I'm going to end up probably marrying someone in the military or a touring musician or someone who's just not around a lot. No, that does not make me a tag chaser. Just don't even go there. That's a discussion for another video. But either way, I've always known that, and so I've always been okay with it. However, I've never been actually in a long distance relationship. It sucks. Like, I don't know. I've missed people before. Like, I've missed my family when I was in New York. I've missed my friends when I was in New York, because really going to New York was the longest I'd been away from anybody. But I always, I found friends, I made friends, I made they weren't blood family, obviously, but, like, I made family out of these friends. I had Gentry when I was in New York, so I didn't miss all of my family. However, I think that I've never missed someone like this before. It's weird. Because, like, I've had boyfriends that have gone on vacations without me or whatever, and I've missed them while they were gone. Like, yeah, it's, it sucks, it's cool, it would be nice if you were here, blah, 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 but, like, I haven't felt like myself since I got home. And that's pretty intense for me, because I normally feel like myself a lot. But I just don't feel, I feel off. And it's not like a sick off, like allergies or whatever because of the temperature change. It's just weird. I don't know how to explain it. And if you're been in a long distance relationship, you understand exactly where I'm coming from. So it's hard and it sucks, but it's gonna be so worth it in the end. I just know it's gonna be worth it in the end. Because, as cliche as it is, absence really does make the heart grow fonder. At least for me. And this has been like a 16-minute long video. Most of it's been me talking about Daniel, and that's kind of, it makes me sick how adorable I feel with this guy. Like, it's just ridiculous. I'm not going to share all the cute little things that we do, because if I did, you would vomit. I would make an epidemic of cuteness across the United States. Or whoever watches these videos, which is probably nobody. But, so I can now give advice on long-distance relationships, like, from experience. Even though it's only been a week. It's been the longest week of my life. Anyway, well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Probably not going to add any more to it for the day. I don't have much planned, if anything. No, I have nothing planned. Becca's coming over at some point with Romeo, and we're going to catch up, because I haven't seen her in a month plus or something. And it'll all be good and wonderful. And Romeo and Athena will have lots of fun together. I gotta figure out when she's coming over. But that's all I have planned for the day. So I might do another video on some other topic, just not pertaining at all to this first video. Maybe. I don't know. We'll find out. Either way, I hope you all enjoy your day. It's rather cold and chilly here. It's been raining for the past couple days. It is, yeah. Okay, so another reason I like Fayetteville, it's warm there. Like, the high today is 59. It currently feels like 48. It's supposed to be sunny, but it's cloudy and nasty out. In Fayetteville, because I still have that on my thing, it's 76 in Fayetteville. Currently feels like 53, and it's nice and bright and sunny. Whereas here, it's cold and rainy and nasty. I realize that they're like 500 some odd miles apart. But seriously, guys. Seriously. Come on, Mother Nature, let's get this shit together. Anyway, alright, well, I'm hanging up. I'm ending this, and I'm gonna load it. And I'm gonna go do something. God only knows what.